In this lesson, we are going to practice finding the circumference and area of circles. All right, make sure you're following along on the sheet provided. I'm going to do one problem, so I will do a problem, and then you're going to try on your own a problem just like it. All right, we're going to start with number 1, and it says the radius of a circle is 12 centimeters. So make sure you always draw your model. So it says the radius, so I know the radius is halfway, so I'm going to put 12 in for the radius. All right, now I'm going to find the circumference. Need to find the circumference and the area. And here are my formulas up here. So the first one I'm going to find is the circumference of this circle. So I need the diameter and pi. So I know that pi is 3.14, so I'm going to go ahead and write that. So circumference is pi times my diameter. So the diameter, let's see, we're given the radius, because that's halfway, so all the way across would be 12 plus 12. So my diameter would be 24. So I'm going to put 24 in here, and then multiply these together, and the circumference, C, would be equal to... All right, so this first problem, 3.14 times 2 times 24 is 75.36 centimeters. And that is the circumference, the distance around this circle. Now let's find the area of the circle, the inside, the area that covers the inside of the circle. All right, I'm going to use the formula. So again, we have pi, which is 3.14. So pi times... Now we have the radius squared, and it gave us the radius, so that is 12 squared. So we just need to multiply that by 12 squared. All right, so 3.14, so my area formula would be 3.14 times 12 times 12, because the radius squared is 12 times itself twice. So now I'm going to calculate that. 3.14 times 12 times 12, and that is the area of the circle, which is 452 and 16.16 centimeters square. 452 and 1600 centimeters squared. So we found the circumference and we found the area. All right. Now I want you to try the next problem, 1B or 1A on your own. All right, if you want to check your answer, the circumference is pi times the diameter, 3.14. Well, they gave us the radius, so we need to double the radius. So 15 times 2 would be 30 all the way across. So diameter is 30, so 3.14 times 30 is 94.2 centimeters, and that is the circumference. All right, the area, pi r squared, pi 3.14 times the radius squared, so 15 squared, or 15 times 15. So the answer for the area, multiply all these together, and it's 706.5 centimeters squared. All right, problem 2. Patrick needs to install a circular window. The distance from one edge to the other through the center is 24 inches. All right, from one edge of the circle through the center to the other edge. So that's the diameter. So I'm going to draw that in. So always make sure you draw a circle and do a model. All right, so there's my diameter, and I'm going to put 24. So 24 inches. All right. Oops, that's sloppy, but all right, so 24 inches. How much glass will he need? So we need to figure out, is this a area problem? Is this an area problem or a circumference problem? So how much glass will he need? Well, he doesn't need just the edge of the glass. He needs all the glass in the window. So that's an area problem. How much glass will he need to cover this whole circular window? So I'm going to write the area formula and plug in what I need, and that will be my answer. So area equals pi r squared. So I know I'm going to multiply pi times the radius squared. Well, they gave me the diameter here. So I'm going to divide the diameter in half. So half of the diameter would be 12. And that is the radius. So my radius is 12. So radius squared is 12 squared. So 3.14, my problem is 3.14 times 12 times 12. So area of this problem equals 452.16 or 452 and 1600ths inches squared. All right, the next problem is on your own, so do 2A on your own. All right, check your answer. You should have gotten 803 and 80.84 inches squared. So pi times the radius squared. They gave you the diameter, which is 32. So just make sure or hopefully you cut that in half or divide that by 2. So your radius is 16. So if they give you the diameter, just make sure you get the radius and plug that into your formula. All right, problem 3. Do this one along with me. Elliot rides a unicycle with a wheel that is 30 inches in diameter. So I'm going to draw a circle, and draw my diameter of 30. All right. Use the following steps to find the distance of 29 revolutions of the wheel. So revolutions means the wheel turns around. So it turns around 29 times. So we're going to break this down and first find the distance for one revolution. So, and we need to think, do we need to find the circumference of the wheel or the area? So what is going to find the distance that when the wheel turns around, how far you go? So if you think of a road, when the wheel turns around, like this wheel, as it turns, it's going to start turning around and using up, and the tire is going to rotate. When it gets back to the original point, that's when you would stop. So the wheel, as it moves forward, that's how much distance it will go. So actually we are going to try to find this. We need to find the circumference of this wheel. So imagine this wheel turning, and as it turns, it moves forward. In one revolution, what distance is that? So we're going to measure the distance around the wheel and think of, if you cut it and flatten it out, what distance would that be? So we need to find the circumference. All right, so let's just write that formula. Circumference is pi times the diameter. They gave us the diameter, so all we need to find is 3.14 times 30. And that is the distance of one revolution. All right, we found out that was pi 3.14 times 30, 94.2. So that's our circumference of one time around the wheel. So now we just need to find what would the distance be for the wheel if it moved 29 times that. So we do 94 times 94.2 times 29, and that will give us the distance for 29 revolutions. So that would be 2,731.8 inches, and I wrote that up here. So for 29 revolutions, the wheel would travel 2,731.8 inches. All right, so 3A, I want you to try on your own. And do it the same way we just did the one, so number 3. All right, check your answer. For step 1, again, we are finding the circumference, because one turn of the wheel is the distance around the circle once. And the diameter is 25, so I know I can find the circumference by doing pi times the diameter of 25, and that equals 78.5 inches. Now if I want to find 18 revolutions of the wheel, so 18 turns of this wheel or my unicycle, I would do 78.5 inches. That's one rotation times 18, and that's 1,413 inches. The next question is a little bit tricky, so pay attention. Trevor needs a new bicycle tire. His tire has a circumference of 32 pi inches. So it's telling us the circumference, and it's just including pi. It doesn't multiply 32 times 3.14. It's just saying 32 pi inches. What is the diameter of the tire? All right, so I'm going to just remind myself what the circumference formula is by writing circumference equals pi times the diameter. And then I'm going to write what they gave us. They said Trevor's tire has a circumference of 32 pi inches. So what they gave us, they said the circumference was 32 pi. All right, so pi is here and pi is here in the formula. So actually, I'm multiplying a number times pi, and here I'm multiplying the diameter times pi. Well, the question's asking us what is the diameter? Well, 32 must be the diameter, because the formula says pi times the diameter is the circumference. So if they give us what pi is and they have a number before it, that means 32 times pi is the circumference. So my answer, the diameter, must be 32. All right, the other one, hopefully you did on your own. This is 4A. Jada needs a bicycle tire. Her tire has a circumference of 27 pi. Same type of problem as 4. What is the diameter of the tire is the question. So the diameter, if we have pi, then the diameter of Jada's tire must be 27. So the answer for this problem is 27. All right, the problems are getting a little bit harder, so we have to work a little bit backwards in this problem. So let's look at this problem. Tim's mom bought a round table for the dining room. If the area is 452.16 inches squared, what is the diameter? All right, this is kind of like solving an algebra problem. I'm going to remind myself what the area formula is. Area equals pi r squared. And in this problem, they give us the area. So I'm going to fill in the area. So the area is 452.16. And that equals pi r squared. All right, so I'm still trying to find the diameter. And from this formula so far, I know I can find out the missing radius, but I have to work backwards a little bit. So I'm going to continue to fill out this problem. So the area, which we know, equals pi. Well, we know what pi is, so I'm going to put that number in, 3.14. And then the only thing we don't know is r squared. So I'm going to get r squared all alone, and I want this variable on this side alone. So I'm going to divide by 3.14 and divide by 3.14 on this side. So now left, I'm going to have r squared equals whatever this is. So let's divide that out. All right, and we will get 144. So r squared equals 144. So what number squared, what number times itself gives you 144? And if you don't know, there is a square root key on your calculator, you can put that in, and it looks like a little house. I'll show you that. But if you don't know what r squared could be, then start plugging in numbers. 10, let's try 10. 10 times 10 is 100. 11 times 11 is 121. And I know 12 times 12, that's 144. So the radius, just the radius, must equal 12. Because I know that 12 squared, the radius squared, would give us 144. So now, we haven't finished the problem yet. We need the diameter. But I know if the radius is 12, then the diameter would equal 24. We just double that. And our answer would be 24 inches for the diameter. All right, let's see if you can do some of this one on your own. Jasmine bought a round table for the classroom. If the area is 78.5 inches squared, what is the diameter of the table? So this is very similar to the last problem. So they're giving us the area, and we need to find the diameter. But if they're giving us the area, we can only use the area formula to figure this out. So area equals pi r squared. So I'm going to figure out first what the radius is, and then I'm going to have to eventually change that to the diameter by doubling it or multiplying it by 2. All right, so I'm going to fill in what I have. 78.5 equals pi, which is 3.14, times the radius squared. We don't know what that is. So you can just, to solve for the radius, remember, you want to get this, you want to get the variable all alone. So when you want to get a variable all alone, just divide whatever you want to get rid of. You want to make 3.141. So let's go ahead and do that. Divide by 3.14 on both sides. 3.14. So r squared will equal 25. So what number squared, what number multiplied by itself twice would give you 25? And if, let's see, r should be 5, because 5 times 5 is 25. So the radius is 5. So if the radius of a circle is 5, remember the radius is halfway across, what would be the whole way across? We just double that, and that's 10. So the answer to our question is the diameter is 10. All right, next question. 6. A sprinkler sprays in a circular motion. What is the area that the sprinkler can reach if the sprinkler can spray 15 feet? All right, I'm going to draw my model. And let's see, a sprinkler. Well, a sprinkler would be in the middle if it's going to do a circular motion. And if it's spraying 15 feet, so it's going to spray out, I guess, 15 feet and then go around the circle. So it would get all this area wet. So I guess we're going to use the area formula. And if it sprays 15 feet in one direction and goes all the way around, then 15 feet is the radius. So I'm going to draw that in. So 15 feet is the radius. It's like halfway from the center to the edge of the circle. All right. So I'm going to use the area formula to figure this problem out. And so I know that pi is 3.14 and the radius is 15, and I'm going to square the radius, so I'm going to multiply 15 by itself twice. So my answer to this problem would be 3.4 times 15, which is 706.5 feet squared. All right, see if you can do this one on your own. All right, hopefully you got the answer that the area that the sprinkler can spray is 1,962.5 feet squared. so number 7, find the area, the semicircle shown. Well, a semicircle means half the circle. So I see that we're given the radius of half a circle. So I'm going to go ahead and pretend that the whole circle is drawn in and find the area of the whole circle and then split it in half. All right, so we know the radius is 3, so the area formula is pi r squared. So I'm going to start filling in pi times the radius. The radius is 3. And if I'm going to square the 3, I'm going to multiply it by itself 3 times. So now area equals 28.26 centimeters squared, but that's the whole circle. So now I need to divide that in half for the semicircle, or half the circle. So the area of the semicircle is 14.13 centimeters squared. So that is our answer for the area of half this circle. Now try number 7A on your own. All right, so hopefully you filled in the area formula using this radius and found the area of the whole circle first, which was 40.69 meters squared. Then, since it's a semicircle, divided it in half and got 20.34 centimeters squared.